We have a very great Chicago comedian here, coming all the way from Wheaton, Illinois, but she's a Chicagoan now. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Hannah Belmont.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Hannah.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We appreciate you swinging on by today. We heard you had a weird Uber trip on the way over, though.
I did. I messed up. It is technically a Lyft, but yeah, my Uber driver's name was Anus, and I don't know because it's spelled A-N-A-S, and I was like, there's no way it is Anus, but I don't know how else Anas is Anas. There's no way to say it. A noose?
Maybe.
A nuisance.
A nuisance. There we go. But yeah, he picked me up from my apartment, and he was like, "Are you going to work?" And I was like, "Well, like." Kind of, I guess, because I didn't know, I never know what to say to Uber. I'm just like, get me out of the conversation as quickly as possible. And then he was like, "Oh, do you work the night shift?" I was like, "Sure." And then I was like trying to put my AirPods in. And then like at the end of the trip, he was like, "By the way, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You're the most beautiful person I've ever dropped off." And I was like, okay. Like, I also like that he said dropped off and not picked up, because it's like, there is the implication that he's like murdered more beautiful people in this Lyft.
Shit.
I fear. So
That's crazy.
I made it out alive.
You survived the anus.
I survived the anus. There we go. I made it.
What a shitty name.
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, if my name was Anus, I feel like I'd also be creepy to women, because I feel like there's nothing else to do if your name's Anus.
Right.
Comes with the name.
Comes with the name. That's his parents' fault.
Yeah, shame on them. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to the show. You know, we're so glad to see you, and we've been following you for a little while with your comedy. How long have you been doing stand up for?
I've been doing it a little over around 3.5 years probably now.
Cool. And I know that you were doing a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff before that. Tell us a little bit how did you get into comedy?
Oh yeah, so when I was in high school freshman year, I joined speech team, which is basically like competitive speaking, and they had a category called original comedy where you had to write an 8-minute sketch and play every single character by yourself, and then you get judged by adults and they would tell you how good it was. And I did that all of high school, and I realized like, oh, I really like comedy. And then COVID happened my senior year, and then I was like, once COVID ended, I was like, I want to do comedy again. And some people had told me about an open mic that let under 21-year-olds in. So I went there, and then I've just been doing it ever since. It's my favorite.
That's awesome. Very cool. Now, what led you getting into public speaking? Like, was there, do you have any idols, people you looked up to, or did you just kind of fall into it?
I just kind of started doing it because I did theater a lot. I was like a theater major and stuff, but I loved like acting and stuff. And a lot of my friends were just like, you should try speech team. And at the time, I didn't watch a lot of stand-up. I think I found John Mulaney, like, freshman year of high school, right when I started speech team. So I really just, like, started it. And I was like, oh, I really like this. Like, this is never something I thought I would do outside of, like, theater and stuff. So I just kind of started doing it. I was like, this is cool. So I guess starting off, John Mulaney was definitely, like, a big influence for me. So much with most teenage girls, I would say. But, yeah, definitely him.
Cool. He's a fellow Chicago guy too, It's good to
Yes.
see that, people from this area do actually make it.
My friend's mom went to Catholic school with him, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
He sat in front of her, and she said that he was very quiet and awkward, which I believe.
Yeah. Didn't he go to St. Ignatius?
Yes, that's where it was. My friend's mom went there with him, which is I still think is crazy, but yeah.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Now, you were originally from Wheaton, also home to the Belushis.
I went to the same high school and middle school as them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And didn't they name the theater after the Belushis as well?
At College of DuPage they did, because that's the community college they went to.
Very cool. Now, when did were you doing comedy out there at all, and when did you make the leap to Chicago?
Yeah, so I was kind of doing stuff in the suburbs. I started out there, and then I was like, I want to go to Chicago, but I was like 19, and my parents are very protective. So they were like, you're not allowed to go to Chicago unless we come with you. So they came with me a few times. And then I went back to school sophomore year. I went to Oberlin College in Ohio. So I was doing stuff in Cleveland a lot because I was like the closest scene to there. And then 2 days after I graduated, I moved fully to Chicago.
Nice. Very cool. Now, what kind of places do you like performing in Chicago? Do you have any favorite bars and comedy clubs that you perform at?
Yeah, I really like Laugh Factory. Laugh Factory is very fun. I'm like a 10-minute walk from there too now, which is great. Lincoln Lodge is another fun one. Zany's too, super fun. I love those places. I really like. I just started hosting an open mic too, and it's at Underground Lounge.
Oh, nice.
And I had never been there before, but it's like a really cool looking bar. They've got a great stage. I think there's a lot of musicians that perform there, but we're gonna start a show there too, which I'm excited about. But I really like that venue, the way it looks. And then I like My Buddies too, because I produced a show there, and that one's fun.
Very cool. Now, so you're a little bit all over the board then. You're producing, you're making your own shows, and going up and performing as well?
Yes.
Very cool. Tell us a little bit about it. When did you start getting into the production of it?
Yeah, so when I was at school in Oberlin, I realized my friend Chris Traney gave me a really good advice right before I went back to school, because I was like, I don't know like what comedy's at Oberlin, like I don't know what comedy's in Cleveland, like, and he just told me like create your own spaces, and then like that'll help build the scene as well as like get producer experience for when you move here. So I started a stand-up club at my college where I would produce shows with students, and then also I did this thing called Chicago Oberlin, where I would get comics from Chicago to travel to Oberlin, get everything paid for by the school, and then they would just perform there, and then I get to like hang out with my friends too.
Nice.
And then I also started producing a couple shows in Cleveland to kind of get more experience, and then when I moved back to Chicago, I had this idea for a show because I had also joined my college's burlesque club, and I had the idea for a show where like comics would go up, they would do a burlesque number, and then do stand up in their final outfits, and that kind of became the show that I run now, which is called Stand Up Strip Down at My Buddies. And I got my roommate, who's one of my closest friends, Quinn James. They started also like co-producing it with me. And that's kind of how I got it started. That, and then I also run like a smaller show in Wheaton at a restaurant I used to work at.
Nice.
Very cool.